What if I told you that one man, born into wealth, shaped by controversy and feared by elites, would rise to become the most powerful person on the planet, a billionaire, a reality TV star, a president, and one of the most polarizing figures in modern history, Donald J. Trump. Born in Queens, New York, Trump faced early challenges, including navigating his father's real estate empire. Is Trump a mastermind playing a game no one else understands, or is he a man whose luck is finally running out? His story is a thriller, full of victories, betrayals, shocking twists, and a future no one can predict. His married life has seen 3 wives, Ivana, Marla, and Melania, and 5 children who have all played roles in his public and private life. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump has changed the course of history. His name is whispered in political war rooms, chanted at rallies, and feared by those who once controlled the game. A billionaire who refused to stay in his lane. A president who defied the establishment. A man who could return stronger than ever. But how did a real estate mogul transform himself into one of the most talked about leaders in modern history? How did he beat impossible odds, and what might his next move be? The answer, it's deeper and darker than you think. This is the real story of Donald Trump, the man, the myth, the unstoppable force. His journey is a testament to the power of ambition and resilience, and his impact unquestionable. This is why Trump's story matters. Donald John Trump was born in Queens, New York in 1946. His father, Fred Trump, wasn't just a real estate mogul, he was a kingpin, building an empire brick by brick. But Donald, he wasn't handed the throne. His father saw something dangerous in him, raw ambition that needed control. So, at just 13 years old, Donald Trump was sent away to military school. He didn't choose discipline, it was forced upon him, but instead of breaking him, it hardened him. The young Trump learned something crucial. The world doesn't reward weakness. You take what you want. And take, he did. After graduating from Wharton Business School, Trump stepped into his father's empire, but he wasn't satisfied with just being another rich kid. He wanted the world to know his name. His first major project was the Commodore Hotel, which he transformed into the Grand Hyatt, marking the beginning of his rise. This was just the start of his ambitious journey. The 1970s and 80s saw Trump explode onto the real estate scene. While others played it safe, he built monuments to power: Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, casinos, airlines, even a football team. But behind the golden walls, something sinister lurked. Debt, betrayal, and a financial empire built on a knife's edge. The stock market crashed, casinos bled money, Trump's fortune crumbled. By 1991, Trump was drowning. Bankruptcies, lawsuits, failed business ventures. He lost his airline, he lost his yacht. Even Trump Tower was at risk. Most billionaires would have disappeared, but Trump, he turned failure into fuel. Every loss, a lesson, every scandal, a marketing opportunity, and then in 2004, Trump discovered his greatest weapon: television, expanding his brand to hotels, golf courses, and even a winery. The world watched as Donald Trump sat in a leather chair, pointed his finger, and said 2 words that became legendary: "You're fired." With The Apprentice, Trump did something extraordinary. He didn't just rebuild his image, he became a pop culture phenomenon. He was no longer just a businessman, he was a brand. Books, speeches, merchandise. Trump had turned himself into a money printing machine. He convinced the world that failure didn't matter. Comebacks did. But was this all part of a bigger plan? Behind the cameras, something was brewing, an ambition greater than real estate, greater than television. Donald Trump wasn't satisfied with fame. He wanted power, and in 2015 he made his move. Most people laughed when Trump announced he was running for president in 2015. A reality TV star? A businessman with no political experience? Impossible. But Trump wasn't playing by the rules. He understood one thing better than anyone else: the power of spectacle. He dominated the headlines. His rallies were electric. He said what others wouldn't dare to say, and millions listened. His opponents, politicians with years of experience, underestimated him. They didn't realize he wasn't just running a campaign, he was running a movement. Then came November 8, 2016. The world watched in shock as Donald Trump, against all odds, became the 45th President of the United States. His entry into politics was unprecedented, and the initial reactions were a mix of disbelief and mockery. Trump's presidency wasn't politics as usual. It was a war. The economy soared, but so did tensions. Trade wars erupted. China versus the US DOGE and crypto, impeachments, investigations, and a media firestorm. Trump's greatest weapon was his unpredictability. Every scandal that would have destroyed another politician, Trump used it to fuel his base. Then came 2020, a pandemic, protests, the most heated election in modern history. Trump lost to Joe Biden. But instead of conceding, he fought. The world saw chaos, lawsuits, protests, and finally January 6th. Was this the end of Trump? Most politicians would have disappeared. But Donald Trump isn't most politicians. Even after leaving the White House, he remained the strongest person in the Republican Party. His rallies still packed stadiums. His name still dominated headlines. His enemies still feared his return. And now, as 2024 approaches, one question looms large. Will Trump return to the White House? Some say yes, some say his time is over. But here's the terrifying truth. Donald Trump has defied the odds before. Could he do it again? The stakes have never been higher. Donald Trump is more than a man. He's a movement. He changed politics, he changed media, he changed the world. And whether you love him or hate him, one thing is clear, he's not done yet. So, what's next? Will he run again? Will his influence fade, or will his legacy continue to shape the world? Or is this just another chapter in the Trump saga? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Trump will return to power, or has his time come to an end? If you found this deep dive into Donald Trump's life interesting, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because there's always more to uncover. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.